Everyone, welcome to the Ritualize Your Life Challenge. Sharada Devi here. Today we are meeting earlier than usual as I'm going to a very special ceremony concert tonight with Borangi. I look forward to that with some beautiful sacred sisters here in Lisbon. And we're gonna come to our step number 21. Is it? Yeah, just had the file open. Yes, 21 days we are in of 36 days. Welcome everyone. Hello Rika, hello Kate, hello Sarah, Veseline, another Sarah, and welcome all those that are watching the recording. Hello Giovanella. So today is a very special initiation. Like all these initiations are incredible, aren't they? Let me know the ones that you feel like, these are really the ones that really touch me deeply. I feel each and every one has its own flavor, its own benefit, its own meaning, its own relevancy, and you'll be incorporating them the rest of your life. At least that's what I am doing. So today it is a very special one. It is a prayer that was shared with me at the very beginning of my Vedic knowledge, Vedic teaching studies. It's a prayer that is very well known in actually different methods, and I'm going to share it with you in a moment. Let's chant to Ganesha first, the remover of all obstacles, and to Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, for this new day in honor and gratitude, and for the knowledge to flow eloquently. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatyai Namaha. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatyai Namaha. Aim Hrim Om Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. More of you have joined. Welcome, Christine, and loving awareness. So today is dedicated to the Serenity prayer meditation. It goes really well actually with the step from yesterday. Yesterday was dedicated to the sacred goddess in the form of our mind, and we deeply, quite a certain extent, looked into the vastness of the mind. Mind is the manas, or the inner instrument, antakarana we call it in the Vedic teachings. And we saw how the mind has all these different compartments, all these different areas, all these different thoughts, that the thoughts which we call vrittis are the emotions, the unconscious, the doubts, the questions, the roles we play, the ego, the ahankara, the knowledge. And so I suggested to, after having gone through the cleansing and the bathing and the dressing, we're in ritualizing our life for those that are just joining for the first time this life, or don't know what we have been doing to this moment. We have been in a deep sadhana, in a spiritual routine where we've been meeting now for 21 days, and I've been unfolding one step at a time, beginning with the moment we wake up or before we wake up, and then we've gone through all the different steps, or especially the steps that I use to ritualize my life. And so this is the 36 days challenge to ritualizing one's life. And in the Vedic tradition we say we ritualize our life by ritualizing one day at a time. And the moment that actually we can ritualize our life because we're conscious or almost conscious is when we wake up, or just the moment before we wake up. And so that's the moment, that moment of initiation, Anandoham, limitless fullness, I am. Like, so, like if you do that every morning, that remembrance, that deep samskara of honoring and acknowledging the limitless nature of your existence, you're creating this imprint, and then you go out into the day. Yoga kshema iti prana panayo. The second step, I can breathe, I receive, I'm taken care of by the universe. Inhalation, exhalation, ritualizing your breathing, looking at the hands and sanctifying all your actions. You're a doer, you're a contributor. And through sanctifying our actions, we convert from a competitor into a contributor, which is crucial if we are on a spiritual journey. And the spiritual journey really only makes sense when we have the right attitude. And the right attitude means the attitude of becoming, of being a contributor. How can I contribute? How can I give back? And I can give back from a place of fullness when I recognize all the infinite grace that is given. And so we make that conscious effort, prayerful effort to recognize all the infinite blessings. You're counting your blessings every single day. And that becomes a spiritual discipline. And when we do that, we recognize, yes, I have been given so much. I've been given the infinite. I've been given everything. Everything is possible for me. Maybe parts in your mind say, no, not everything is possible for me. This is never for me. This is only for her, for them, because they are more privileged. They are white. They are men. They are rich. They are more beautiful. No, this is not for me. This is conditioning. These are false beliefs. These are beliefs that you bought. And these are beliefs that you can neutralize. And that's what we're doing, like committing here every day to neutralize these wrong, false, limiting, disempowering beliefs, and seeing with your own eyes that they're not true. You've been given the infinite. You've been given this existence, your breath, your action. You can walk, you can go out, you can go to the toilet, you can wash yourself. Like, you have been given so much power. And so by doing this every day, this is a radical act of showing to the universe, I'm not buying what the media or the religion, like the disempowering religion or the corporation, are telling me and saying to me that I am incapable or not good enough, not beautiful enough. Like, this is all untrue. And I'm focusing on the truth. And so here we are. I'm so happy to hear, Sanas, that you loved the session from yesterday. So we've been going through all these different steps. I'm not going to go through them right now, through all of them. We basically, have ritualized our washing, our dressing. And then I introduced how on the spiritual journey, that it's very important to establish an altar, because the altar represents the abode of love, and that abode of love is very important for us to establish, so that I can resolve all my pain, all my difficulties, all my mistrust, all the challenges that I face. Because if you don't have a stable place where to go to, that you can find trust, like, you'll be out in the world seeking and seeking and seeking and seeking everywhere. And often in the wrong places. Like, we need to seek intelligently. And so intelligent seeking means I'm gonna seek in the places where that can really help me. Like, I go to teachers, mentors, a body of knowledge that can really support me, that is time proven that it really works, methods that work. And sometimes I maybe haven't found them yet. And that can bring up a strong feeling of helplessness. And so even when you have found it, even then helplessness will still appear. And so we established that altar, that I have this permanent place outside of myself until I discover I am the permanent place as myself, that which is permanent, always here, and establish it outside and create that relationship. Until then I internalize that permanent place, that abode of love, because all what we really seek is love, isn't it? All we want is love, right? This beautiful song comes to me from Anne Brun. All I ever want is love. All we ever want is love. So I introduced in step 18, and all of these lives are available on my feed, my Instagram. So the day 18 is dedicated to establishing this altar, this abode of love, setting the intention for the day, recognizing their unseen obstacles. I ask for what I want. Then I ask to spiritualize all my relationships. Relationships are your sacred mirror, and we initiated into this mantra, Parasparam bhavayantaha shreyaf paramavapsyate. May I see all beings, God as God or Goddess. May I see all beings, expected or unexpected guests, as God, Goddess. Like, and everyone comes to teach me something. It's also beautiful. It went so well. It was just recently the day of fullness on Sunday, and the teacher, dedicated to the teaching, the teacher. So everyone is actually also my teacher, because everyone shows me something about myself, and especially the ones that trigger me. And so these people that are challenging, they can become our greatest teacher. And so here in this step 19, we sanctified the relationships and are seeing relationships as a means for growth rather than as a means to make me happy. The common belief, the collective belief, the collective expectation is that relationships are here meant to make me happy, meant to fulfill me, meant to complete me. Yeah? The husband, the wife, the child, meant to make me happy, meant to go how I want them to be. That's a collective belief, a myth we grew up with, all of us who grew up with Western myth. Prince Charming is going to come and save us. And so in this step 19, we neutralize that belief through seeing through the lens of the Vedic tradition, where all beings, all relationships are not meant to make me happy, but they're meant to help me grow. Grow? What kind of growth? Infinite growth. Because you are infinite, you are the whole, you are everything. That's the vision of the Veda, you are everything. That's the true spiritual growth. That's the true spiritual awakening, that you are everything. But in order to own that, in order to embody that, you are everything, we get to grow relatively as an individual through our relationships. So that's what we did in the day 19, if you want to go back to that. And then yesterday was dedicated to the mind. Because when we look at relationship as a means for growth, we become aware of all of our triggers. We want to become aware of all our activations. We become aware that we are an emotional being, a being that is full of emotions. And so then in the step 20 yesterday, we're taking the time to really be with the mind, befriend the mind, understand the mind. But what do we again all do collectively? We judge the mind. We have an agenda for the mind to be a certain way. And certain emotions are acceptable and others are not. And all this expectation that we impose, or that were imposed on us, but they were imposed on us because I imposed them to myself in my past life. It's a perfect order that we're born into. Everything just comes back. It's sacred cycles. And so everything that I've learned that is unhealthy, that is disempowering, that is not helping me to accept myself as I am, that is judging myself, all of that we neutralize in our meditations. And there are countless meditations, so many meditations. And so this was, I pointed it out yesterday in the Vedic tradition, meditation is not to be free from thoughts. And that's a very wild belief, a widespread belief. Meditation is to be free from thoughts. No, not in the Vedic tradition. In the Vedic teachings, meditation is a mental, prayerful activity, on God, Goddess with form, on love with form, really, on the sacred with form. It's called upasana. You're sitting upa with that which is close. What is close? The mind is very close. You always see the mind. You never see the outside world. Welcome everyone. It's so nice to see so many of you joining. You always see your mind. You never see the outside world. And so naturally, if I see through my mind, then I'm going to make all kinds of judgments about what I'm seeing. And most of the time, it's not an objective judgment of what I see. Most of the time, the judgment is subjective. Most of the time, the judgment is based on what I experienced as a little girl, a little boy, a little being. And so our goal, as a spiritual seeker, as a person that wants to grow, as a person that is here for the expansion of their life, to own up their infinity, we want to see things objectively as they are, not through the subjective lens. When I see them through the subjective lens, all I know is drama. Drama within drama within drama, stories within stories and stories. And it's everyone's fault except mine. Through the subjective lens, we're very good at blaming, finding faults. But when we come to the objective lens, then it's no one's fault. If at all, it's Goddess' fault. And I don't see anything as a fault. I see everything as a lesson. I see everything as an opportunity for me to grow, to discover where I have projected my security, my wholeness onto something other than myself. That is the purpose of becoming an objective person, to see things clearly as they are, and then to see where have I projected my happiness, my wholeness, my love, my security, my well-being, my power, my wealth, my pleasure, onto something, someone other than myself. And so then we call that back. That's why it's the return home to yourself, the return to the wholeness that you are, the return to the wealth that you are, the return to infinite pleasure and well-being and true love. That's the purpose of life, to discover what you truly are. And so meditation, there are so many meditations, so many beautiful, powerful meditations, and they teach us in the Vedic tradition and all the other modalities that are there. There are so many great other modalities. They take us step by step through taking care of all these parts that are there in the mind. The inner child, the child in exile, the mother, the father that I have introjected, the angry uncle or angry teacher, the whole surrounding that I grew up with. They're all internally, they're all introjected. And that's my subjective world that I live in, that most human beings live in. They live in their subjective, introjected world with what they have experienced as a little being, as a child. And so then our process, our spiritual process, is really to grow emotionally. Like, in other words, to say, to become an objective person means to become an emotionally mature person. And then as an emotionally mature person, I'm able to then expose myself fully to the ultimate truth. What is the ultimate truth? That you're infinite, that you're whole, that you're limitless, that you are everything. To own up the infinity that you are. But for that, we get to relatively grow as a person, become an emotionally mature person. And so, with this step number 21, this is a prayer. It kind of goes with step number 22, but this is a specific one that has helped me so profoundly in becoming an emotionally mature, objective person. And I actually heard this prayer the very first time over around 20 years ago when I went to the AA, but not Alcoholic Anonymous, but I had something that is called compulsive obsessive overeating as a teenager, and very painful, very difficult, very challenging, and actually still many have that, especially young people. But so for me that, like, it's a form of control, and through food, and we become obsessed about food, or it could be anything. And so I was seeking help, and I looked online, and then there was the AA, but it was the AA for the compulsive obsessive overeater. There was also AA for bulimia, AA for anorexia, AA for other addictions, and then there was for the compulsive obsessive overeater. And I was, wow, there is something, like there's a group. This was 20 years ago. And so the prayer that they introduced there, you probably maybe know it, it's called the Serenity prayer. And then that prayer was introduced to me again when I came to the Vedic teachings. But they gave much more meaning to it. So it doesn't matter where the prayer came first, if it was first from them or first from them. But when I came to the Vedic teachings, which is also many years ago, 15 years ago, 16 years ago, 4 years later after that AA initiation, it's not AA, compulsive, CA, maybe the acronym, then this prayer was introduced, and with so much depth, from the lens, from the view of wholeness, from the vision of oneness. So I invite you to take a moment, take a breath. I just notice if there's any tension. And then if it feels right for you, you can repeat after me. Oh universe, oh universe. And here you can also say, oh God, oh Goddess, oh Mother, oh infinite powerful being, like the name that you have for the universe, for the all-powerful, all-loving being. Oh universe, please grant me the serenity to accept all that I cannot change. To accept all that I cannot change. And just feel that a moment in your body. Like that prayer of, I ask the universe to please grant me the serenity to accept all that I cannot change. This is a big statement, it's a big prayer. Why? Like when I am in this subjective place, I want to change so many things. I want to change so many people. I blame the world and people for my misery. And so here with this prayer, I get out of that. Please grant me the serenity to accept all that I cannot change. And then the second part, if you want, you can repeat after me. Please grant me the strength. Please grant me the strength. And feel that, like to ask, you're asking the universe, please grant me the strength. Please grant me the courage. The courage. The will. The will. And the effort. And the effort. Right? So we're specifically asking for 4 qualities: strength, courage, will, and effort. To change what I can change. To change what I can change. And again, I invite you to take a moment to sit, feel the implication of this second prayer, second sentence. Please grant me the courage right? It means to overcome your fear. Please grant me the strength, that viryam. And then the will. I gotta have a will. And please grant me the effort. Like the effort. So I'm gonna do what I want to do, what I need to do, to change what I can change. And then the last part of this prayer, please grant me the wisdom. Please grant me the wisdom, and like feel that in your heart, to know what I can change, to know what I can change, and what I cannot change, and what I cannot change. So again, take a moment to feel the implication of this sentence. Please grant me, you're asking the universe to give you the wisdom to know what you cannot change. You can then see what comes to you. What can you not change? Like you can't change your mom. Please grant me, like the serenity we asked at the beginning, the serenity to accept that I cannot change my mom, my dad, my past, everything you have done, everything that was done to you in the past, everything you thought you should have been doing and you didn't do. Please grant me this serenity to accept what I cannot change, and grant me the wisdom to know what I cannot change and to know what I can change, right? Because there are so many things you can change. And most of us, we focus on the things we cannot change. And that's a waste of time. You know that you cannot change gravity. You're not wasting any time in trying to change gravity. You know you cannot change the sun. You're not wasting any time in trying to change the sun. Why on earth do we waste our time in trying to change a person, your husband, your wife? They are gravity. They are gravity. That means you cannot change them. You can only change someone if they really want to change. You can never change anyone who does not want to change. And there are so many situations I cannot change. They're just the way they are. They are exactly the way they are because they are meant to be the way they are. There's a background for this situation to turn out in this way. It has nothing to do with you. Just because something doesn't turn out the way you wanted, the way you expected it, it doesn't say anything about you, who you are, what you are, your capacities, your capabilities, your skills, your talent. It has nothing to do with that. It was just not meant to be in this way. For many reasons. Which reasons? You probably will never know. Maybe you will, but you need not know. You can trust the universe that if it was really meant to be in that way, it would have been in that way. So if it wasn't meant to be. It was not meant to be yours. But you can trust that there are things that are meant for you. Every individual has a life with karma, with countless experiences, and they are yours. No one can take them away from you. And knowing that, it takes away all this anxiety that I will be left out, this FOMO, this idea that they have more than I have, that I cannot have this. No, you're having your experiences that are yours. It is your karma. So what is yours is yours. What is not yours is not yours. And in that we can lean back. And so there are so many things I can't change. You can change your habits, like what we are doing here. It's so powerful. You're changing your habits right now. The last 20 days, we've been meeting every single day to change what you can change. We've been focusing on what we can change and how we can use our power and how we can change our lives, how we can change our destiny. And you change your destiny through changing your thoughts, your words, your actions. You want to change your destiny? You got to change your words. This is it. If one prayer, it's this prayer. This is the beginning. This was my beginning. This was my first prayer that was given to me in English. And I repeated this prayer, I don't know how many times. So many times. Countless times. Every single day. For years I repeated this prayer. For years. Because I was in so much pain. Like I had this compulsive food disorder. I was hating my body. I was disliking my body. And I couldn't change that in that moment. So it's, grant me the serenity to accept what I cannot change. And please grant me the courage, the will, the strength to change what I can. And what I was able to change was starting to do yoga, and then starting to learn Ayurveda, and then starting to talk about it. Why would I have this behavior or situation in the first place? Well, because there was a self-judgment. And where did the self-judgment come from? Well, from society, which should look a certain way in order to be loved, in order to be accepted. Mom had a whole idea of how I should look or how I should not look. What is acceptable and what is not acceptable. The hair has to be a certain way, and the hair and the teeth has to be in a certain way, and you have to look a certain way. And right? All these judgments, all this belief. My mom had them and her mom had them. And then they were given to me. And then I hate myself. And in order to not feel that hate and that pain, I control it or try to control it through food. And so this prayer, it led me so far. I started to say this prayer, and then everything started to shift. And then after 4 years, I came to the Vedic teachings. And they took this prayer to this level, like the one I'm sharing with you, to really see the implication and then look at it in terms of also the whole vision. Like taking it further to this absolute spiritual growth. I'm not going to go into there right now, but this is the gist basically. And so when we say this prayer, like every day as an initiation, as a daily ritual, then you have the shock absorber when you go out into the day, when you meet the people, when you have the relationships, when you are overwhelmed, when suddenly the traffic is like so packed, so jammed, and you're going to miss your meeting. You couldn't get angry, which most people do, right? I'm like so used to Bali traffic, living in Bali for 16 years. Whenever you make a fault in the traffic, people just smile at you, like, and here it's like, I drive, but I don't drive so much. So when I drive here, and it takes me a little bit longer to find my way, and people honk and get angry. They get angry because, many reasons. So it happens to us, right? We go out, we don't get things the way I expected them. People are not responding the way I want them to respond. I have this expectation because the job has this expectation. Everyone has so many expectations, so many agendas. Exhausting. And so you say this prayer every day. It gives you a shock absorber for all the stimuli that comes through your 5 sense organs throughout the day. And then you can catch yourself. Like in the moment where you're about to react, you're like, ugh. Right now I'm in a reaction. I'm in a reaction. Like that's so big that you can actually recognize when you're in a reaction. Most people don't recognize that they're in a reaction. They're just reacting. Boof, like in the traffic. Something happened, blah, vomit. And so with the Serenity prayer, you're catching yourself. Here I am subjective. Here I'm acting out. Here I'm projecting. Boof. And like, I'm in a reaction. I feel like reacting, but I need not. I mean, I can, but not here towards this person. Right? Then I go somewhere where it's safe. And then I go deeper, like I'm sourcing what is actually really going on here. Like, why am I so upset? Why does this disturb me so much? And instead of blaming, I take it back home, like, oh wow, part of me is really overwhelmed. I'm really hurt, I'm really sad, I'm really scared. There's a part of me that is really scared. afraid to die, basically. Ultimately, it all comes down to the fear of death. I don't want to die. And so in order to not feel that fear, because it's fear, and fear is so difficult to feel, and we don't know how to feel fear until we do, we avoid it at every cost to feel it. Because it's not acceptable here in our society, Western society. Like, only life is accepted and birth. But death and fear, no. No one knows how to deal with it. No, it's not completely true. Some do. Thanks God, some do. And so here, this mantra or this English prayer you can say, it has blessed my life in every possible way. I've said it many, many times every day in my rituals before going out of the bed. And in that way I started to really settle account with my past, with my mom, with my dad. And of course there's so many other tools that are there to really settle account with mom and dad. And we do all of that in my programs. We really go to the core of this, where this incapacity comes from, to accept things as they are, and to see where we have projected our wholeness onto someone other than ourselves. And in my programs you get all the tools, like this tool and so many more tools to handle the weather of emotion, to grow emotionally, to grow spiritually, and own up your divinity. Live as a divine, full and complete, sacred, magnificent, most beautiful, empowered being. That's the gift that was given to you, and you can claim that as yours. So if you want to have one Sanskrit word that represents this whole prayer, one Sanskrit word that represents this whole long English prayer, may I have the serenity to accept all that I cannot change today. May I have the strength and the courage, the will, the effort to change what I can today. And may I have the wisdom to know what I cannot change and what I can. If you want to say all of that in one Sanskrit word, it is Namaha. 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 I invite you to say it with me. Namaha. 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 I can feel that when you say this Namaha, you feel how the knot, the blockage, the hardness, the anger, the rage, instead of creating more knots, more tension, more resistance, because every time you're fighting what you cannot change, which means every time you're in resistance to facts you cannot change, you create more knots in your heart. They become tighter and stronger and harder to untie. And so I offer non-resistance to my resistance, to whatever I cannot change. I offer non-resistance. I say Namaha, 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 Namaha. And Namaha is so beautiful because you can say it soft, Namaha, Namaha, or you can say it intense, Namaha, 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 Namaha. And sometimes you have to Namaha, because you're angry and you gotta get out there. Right? And you feel it in your bones, and the dragons have to come out, the demons have to come out. You just gotta do it at your altar, in the right place. Right? It has to come out because you've endured stuff for too long that you shouldn't have been enduring, but you endured it because you didn't know any better, just like your mom and your dad and everyone around you, because they don't have the Namaha, they don't have the tools. But you cannot say anymore you don't have the tools. You have the tools. I've given you so many tools every single day, tool after tool after tool after tool, and you take one of these tools, it will change your life. Guaranteed. If you really pursue it, if you really do it. Right? I can give you all the tools, I can give you all the knowledge, but if you don't use your will, your effort, right, your Kriya Shakti, it will not change. You'll have this mediocre change. But this is like the warrior, you gotta be in it, no matter what. It's this no matter what, you are invested, no matter what. And if I fail, so what? I'm gonna get myself up again and I'm gonna try again. And if I fall again, So what? I'm going to try again. And if I fail again, so what? I try again. The truth is, you are infallible. You cannot fail. Every time things do not work out the way you want it, it's because there's things for you to learn, things for you to be processed, things for you to be healed. Your journey hasn't completed yet. It means you're still on the journey of love, on the journey of growth, of expansion. And so Namaha, 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 Namaha. Like here I say 11 times. But in intense times, you got to say it 108 times. And in even more intense times, you got to say it 1080 times. Like in that moment when you want to act out and you want to say things that are so harmful and that are going to have a ripple effect and words that you can never take back the rest of your life, which we all have done. Like, who has done that here? I have said things, I can never take them back. I wished I wouldn't have said them. I did. Namaha. But I made sure that I'm not going to say this ever again to anyone, and especially not to the people that I love and care for so much. Yeah. So that inner child, really, like it's the demon, is really the inner child, which is not a demon, it's just a child that is desperate for love. And that love, only you can really give that love. God, Goddess, you can give that love. And it's your responsibility. You cannot expect anyone to give you love if you don't give your love self, if you don't give the love to yourself. And most people I see, they want their partner to be a certain way. He's not listening. She doesn't listen. She doesn't da-da-da-da-da. I want this, I want that. And then I ask, do you give yourself what you want from them? And they're like, no. What can you expect? So Namaha, 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 right? Because if you don't say Namaha, you're going to say all these nasty things that you cannot take back. And that's how you perpetuate the cycle. Pain and more pain and more pain and more pain, more drama, more drama, more drama, more drama. But you turn the drama into Dharma. Dharma rakshati rakshitaha. The one that protects Dharma is protected by Dharma. And here, Dharma means universal values. You have a value to not perpetuate the cycle of pain. Here and now, this pain stops with me. And I take full responsibility for my pain. That's where the box stops. The pain stops with me, and I'm going to feel my pain. I'm going to process my pain. Oh, pain, I cannot change. Catalyze my heart into a constant prayer and remain. I love you so. Right? So you take all this emotion, all this pent-up emotion, all whatever is it, you convert it, you catalyze it into a prayer, and you pray. You say 100,000 times Namaha. It's not mine, it's not mine, it's not mine. Namaha. This is not mine. This pain, this suffering, this judgment, this is not mine. Namaha. Namaha. Right? So the Namaha means I welcome. Nam comes from the root nam, to salute, to welcome. So you welcome what is here, like this pain right now, this situation, it's given by the universe to me. It means it's for me to solve to the best of my ability. Namaha, Namaha, welcome, welcome, Nama, welcome. And then Namaha, I offer it back. The pain, I offer it into the universe with flowers from my heart. And we did that in step number 18. You can go number back to 18. So then you can take the flowers and you have this Namaha, 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 and convert the pain into beauty. You convert the pain into pleasure. Eventually discover the pleasure in the pain, and the pain is in the pleasure, and that's the ecstasy of life. And you don't run away or run after any of those. You don't run away from pain, you don't run after pleasure, you're just with whatever is here and now. This is how God, Goddess is, in the form of pain, in the form of pleasure. Namaha, I welcome her. Namaha, I welcome him. Namaha, I welcome them. Namaha, I welcome my mom. Namaha, I welcome my dad. Namaha, I welcome my child. Namaha, my husband. Namaha, the president. Namaha, the neighbor. Namaha, this pain in the body. Namaha, 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 I welcome it. And then this is how you're untying all these knots of the heart. Like you're not resisting anymore. You come to your knees. I surrender. I surrender. Like Arjuna did in the battlefield. He had the most difficult choice of his life, to kill the people he loved. And he wanted to run away. But Krishna told him, you gotta stay. This is your fight. You gotta fight for love, for truth. And you stay. And you see the truth of what is really going on. What is really going on? Namaha, 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 Namaha. Namaha, 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 Namaha. And the mudra is you bow in front of your altar. That's the mudra. You bow in front of it. You go to your knees. Balasana. You put your head, your heart, your womb, your genitals. You put it all down at the altar. Namaha, Namaha. Take this load from my shoulders. It's not mine. I am not here to carry the weight of the world. It's not mine. It's not yours. It is not your responsibility. The pain of anyone else other than yourself. Your own. And even that, you feel it, you process it, you give it back. And you inquire, what's the truth of this whole experience? What is really going on? Is this pain real? Is it my pain? Am I not good enough? Am I not beautiful enough? Am I not intelligent enough? Am I inadequate? Am I really a failure? No. You are whole and complete. Yourself is whole and complete. Yourself cannot get holier, nor wholer, nor more complete, nor more beautiful, nor more intelligent. Yourself is ever complete. Your Purnam, fullness, that is your nature. And you can discover this in this life. It's there. It's all here as an already accomplished fact. It's you. But you gotta choose to do the work. And no one else can do that for you. It's up to you to prioritize. What is not serving, I'm not gonna focus there anymore. I focus on what is really valuable, on what really matters, on what is true. Oh, universe, grant me the wisdom to know what I cannot change. So what I cannot change, I stop focusing on it. Grant me the wisdom to know what I can change, and I focus on what I can change. It starts with your words. Oh, universe, grant me the wisdom, the serenity to accept all that I cannot change. It starts with the words, it ends with the word Tattvamasi. You are the cause of this whole universe. And so you got to give the power back to your words. What you say, it matters. How you say it, it matters. When you say it, it matters. Your words matter. Satyam bruyat, hitam bruyat, priyam bruyat is the first spiritual discipline of every, at least in the Vedic tradition, the Vak tapas. Your words matter. Through your words, you change your thoughts. Through changing your thoughts, you change your actions. Through changing your actions, you change your destiny. Words. Namaha, 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 Namaha. That's it. This is it. Initiation number 21. I bow in front of you. You're my altar. The whole universe becomes my altar. We practice on a small altar until the whole universe. I can bow. I'm in service to you. From the standpoint of my body, I am your servant. From the standpoint of my mind, I am your devotee. From the standpoint of myself, I am you. This is our prayer. I'm in service to love, in service to the sacred, until I discover I am the sacred. And then, who is in service to what through what? Oh, thank you everyone for being here. It's an honor. Pray this has given something to you. Say Namaha 100,000 times with every heartbeat. Oh, if we wake up tomorrow, I see you tomorrow for initiation number 22. And tomorrow is normal time at 8 p.m. Central European Summertime. Big hug. And let me know how everything lands. Thank you for the hearts. I'm going to post this live again. And just, please share with me your experiences, your insights, your aha moments, your takeaways. It's so valuable to me. Oh, Namaha. Big hug.